Okay, I want to explain how submodules work when you do a git pull. I've done this a few times by now, but I just want to really nail it in. So here we have a submodule inside of a parent project. So the parent project is this one here, MWE meta utils, and scripts is also its own submodule inside of this project. So when I do git pull, you'll see a few things are happening. So what's happening is that it's updating where um, what commits things are looking at in terms of submodules. So this submodule scripts had other submodules inside of it, and the question I have is, so you see it created Go collection utils. So if I go there, you'll see a lot of stuff going on. But coming back to just where we were, which was in the scripts folder, each one of these things, so before we had done a git pull, there was nothing to commit, our working tree was clean. And then after we git pulled, when we type git status, we see this. And that can be confusing to people who are new to submodules, but it's not that it's a new commit, it's that the currently stored submodule is on a different commit than what the metadata says for this submodule. So when I did a git pull, it didn't actually modify anything. It didn't modify the submodules themselves. It modified like the metadata about what submodules it should have. So now it's saying, well, these are out of date. And in order to, um, so yeah. Additionally, if a submodule brings in a new if a git pull brings in a new submodule, you have to initialize that as well. For more details on specifically what's going on here, you could take a look at git pulling in a git directory with submodules, which is on my website. And either way, we need to set up the submodules again. So now that we understand why it says new commits, the reason being that the metadata changed, but the content stayed the same. So now it thinks we're pointing to like, it thinks that, well, it's true that the commit that these submodules inside of the scripts submodule are out of date. So for example, if we go to SBPT and I type a git status, we're on CFA 36E1. Now if I go here and I go SBPT, we can see what commit that actually is. So it was CFA. So CFA was all the way back November 2024, right? Which is like more than a year ago. And that's why when we go to so I'll also show the scripts project, and currently the SBPT version that it's pointing to is FFO1528, right? So clearly that's like, because we did a git pull, now the scripts submodule is saying I expect to see SBPT version FFO1528, but instead we still have the old one. And so it's not really that it's a new commit, it's just a different commit, and specifically it's actually an old commit. So I don't really like this message, but that's how you can interpret it. And the way you deal with it now is that once again, I won't go into the full details on each command because you can read this page and understand it. But we're gonna update the submodules so that they are at the right commit. And if any new submodules were added, which I don't think there were, those would also be initialized and updated as well. So we're gonna do a git submodule and then update dash dash init dash dash recursive. And that's going to go check out the right commits. So as we mentioned, sbpt on inside of the scripts git project, it's pointing at FFO15828, and so when we did that, you can see that it checked out that version. And now when we type git status, nothing to commit, working tree clean. So I hope that helps explain at least partially how submodules work when you do a git pull, and that's it.